Good morning, friends and family. John Miller, your Lake Stevens Realtor, coming at you here on a snowy February 15th. Actually, the snow is starting to go away. It looks like it's raining out there, so all this should go away. But anyway, a lot of snow over the weekend. That was a lot of fun. Finally had our winter here in the Northwest. I don't have a question. I was reading an article in Forbes magazine this morning, and there was kind of a little blurb: 5 questions your real estate agent can't answer legally can't answer. And I wanted to go over those and kind of explain my answers, explain why they're kind of restricted. Some of it's a bit subjective, but I can see why they're asking those. Number one, what kind of people live in this neighborhood? And that's obviously a very demographic question. Any question that relates to any kind of steering, and steering is where I am steering people, that literally and figuratively, to a certain neighborhood based on a component that could be considered discriminatory, whether it's race, faith, it could be any reason that's restricted. And if that ever comes up, and there's another question here, the last one, can you show me a neighborhood with a large, blank profile, white, Asian, Catholic, Jewish, doesn't matter. Any of those, race, religion, all creed, all those things. I cannot represent you. And we've had that happen where we've had people come in and ask that, and the law is, from an agency law, I can't represent you. Sir, I can't help you. You have to leave, which seems very harsh, but the laws are very stringent in that regard. The fines are very stiff. It's something I won't participate in regardless of what people are wanting to buy. I've had people ask me that too. It's really kind of strange. But an agent really shouldn't be doing that at all, and people just shouldn't ask. There's some agents who use the example, they'll bring out a map. Show me on the map where you want to live. Don't tell me why. I know it sounds a little underhanded, but the reality is, it really is your decision where you want to live. Understand that there's components that I simply can't and won't acknowledge or factor in when you're looking for a home. In fact, our MLS is so stringent. For example, obviously a lot of the listing remarks, the public remarks, I can't talk about, close to the church or what have you. Even the driving directions, I can't even refer to a landmark, left at St. Mark's, down to the end of the street. I can't even do that because it would indicate that the neighborhood is predominantly Catholic. So those are, it is pretty stringent in many regards. If you have questions about the demographic makeup of an area, I can show you. I can refer you to websites, or go to the city websites, or there's other places that'll show the demographics in a certain area, and you can make that decision and then tell me where you want to live. Just don't tell me why. That's the bottom line. Question 2: is this a good place to raise a family? I'm thinking it kind of borders some steering, but not much. It's a very subjective question, so it's something that I encourage people: drive the neighborhood, take a look around, talk to the neighbors if you need to, make your own decision in that regard. Same thing with question number 3: is this a safe neighborhood? Safety is very subjective, and how safe you feel, if it's crime or property crime or violent crime, it's really a personal decision. I can't answer that question for you, and I can refer you. When I bought my first home, I called the sheriff and asked, can I speak to the officer who drives this neighborhood? And she called me, and we had a nice long discussion, and she told me, these are the kind of crimes I see. Here's my recommendations. It was a very good conversation. Do that. Go reach out to the police department or the sheriff and have a blunt conversation. I'm thinking of buying a home in this neighborhood. Can you tell me what kind of activity do you get in that area? And they'll be very happy to tell you. Question 4, and this is one I took a little umbrage with, and the question is, how are the schools here? There's obviously a number of real estate school ranking websites, greatschools.org, and a couple others that will rank the websites on many times objective standards, testing and graduation rates and things of that nature. And I'm very happy to refer people to say, take a look. Now, here in the Northwest, especially in Snohomish County, schools are very important to a lot of families. These are mostly bedroom communities. A lot of people move, up here from out of King County when they're starting a family. Very reasonable. And Snohomish County is a little different to the extent that we have some very, very good school districts, and we have some other districts that are not so good, and many times they're right next to each other. So that school district boundary can be very important, and I get that. Here in Lake Stevens, we have one of the best school districts in the state, and no question. And it's reasonably affordable compared to Mukilteo or North Shore, which is basically Bothell and Mukilteo, which are really high prices there. But not that Lake Stevens is cheap at any point. But I think those are good selling points. I don't think there's anything that would be even remotely discriminatory. I understand that sometimes the answer can be subjective if you're looking for test scores or graduation rates or things of that nature. I'm always happy to refer you and say, hey, take a look at rateschools.org and you can see exactly what's going on. So those are the kind of things. Again, anything that even is close to being discriminatory, I won't touch. There's just no reason for it. There's no reason you should either. If you have questions about how I answer those questions or why I can't answer those questions any further, just let me know and I'll be happy to try to answer them if I can. I think the only last thing is probably the single concern I get from sellers is, why aren't you marketing this to families? And the short answer is I can't. I can't put that in the public remarks, great for families. And I have a lot of sellers that want me to do that, and legally I simply can't. And I know that sounds strange because on the face of it, it's a good selling point. Yeah, it's a great place for families. Well, unfortunately, that is the far end of that is discriminatory. Familial status is something we don't touch. I can use the word family room. I just can't sell to families. Figure that one out. Interest rates 2.73 on a 30-year fixed. Market is still moving very, very quickly. If you're looking to list, now is the time. We're going to be in spring here before you know it. Anyway, wherever you are, stay safe, healthy, stay off the roads. They're still pretty wet and slick this morning, and we'll see you next week.